Hey guys, Jen Carew here. I just wanted to come on and do a little bit of wire wrapping with you, kind of show you how to do it. A lot of people use jump rings to connect all their components and their links and spacers and all that kind of thing. And it's great to do that. Jump rings obviously are a must if you're a jewelry artisan, but I just wanted to use some wire wrapping to kind of show you how I do that because it kind of avoids those small charms or small wires slipping through those jump rings that are open and you losing them. So I just kind of wanted to show you how I do it. I had a lot of interest in this necklace here that I'm wearing, so I just kind of want to show you how I put that together as I begin making a new necklace here. So I'm just going to kind of bring you in here to show you what I do. And it's really quite simple. I use a 22 gauge wire here. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take off about a piece. Let's see if I can get you down here a little bit more. About a piece, probably maybe 4 inches. More is always better. Give you a little bit of room to play with here. I'm going to take my small nose pliers. I am going to leave probably about a good inch or 2. And you're always going to take your wire and turn it away from you. Then you're going to take this small piece here and you're going to move this arm back over here. And then that kind of gives you a nice loop there when you're going to connect. And on your first one, you're going to take that loop and you're going to bring it around and you just want to wrap it around. However many times, nice firm wraps. I typically do at least 3, sometimes 4. I think today we'll just do 3. I'm going to come over and I'm going to trim that little bit of wire as close up as I can. Just like that there. And I'll have to remember as you're done, always come back and remember to kind of close those or pinch those shut so that they don't poke anybody or snag on anyone's clothes. You're going to want to come and squeeze those together like so. And then you're going to want to start with your first bead set. So with my necklace, I typically do probably 2 or 3, 4, sometimes 5 beads. Today I'm going with the gold wire, so I'm going to use more things that go with gold. If you ever play with my stones or look at beach stones, I love the black stones because a lot of them have like gold specks already in them. So it really matches well. So I'm going to take a bead and I'm going to put it onto my wire here, if I can do it, just like that. And I'm just going to kind of play around. There's no right reason or no right way to do a bead. If you have something that you like, do it. It's creative. That's the one thing great about beading is you can kind of do whatever you want to. You can play around with it, figure out what you like. And with me, I'm going to add one of my hand-drilled beach stones here. I'm going to put it down there. I'm going to use black because I love black and gold. And then this pattern here, I'm just going to kind of repeat the exact same pattern going back up. It just kind of keeps it nice and neat and looks like it's put together really well. And just kind of keeps things together. Sometimes the beads can be a little bit tricky. If you're taking a string of beads, sometimes if you take a group of 3 or 4 or 5 and put them together, you can even string them a little bit easier. So what I'm going to do is I've got that there. So I'm going to come back and again, I'm going to take this wire and I'm going to come up probably about that far there. I'm going to move it again away from me and then I'm going to bring that arm back around. And now I'm just going to leave that for a second because now I need to make my next strand. So again, I'm going to take about 4 inches of wire, snip it off there. I'm going to come back through, but now because I've started my first piece, I am not going to close it off yet. So I'm going to turn it away from me, bring that arm back around, and then I'm going to find this other arm here, and I'm going to string it through this wire, or put it onto this wire so that it connects. And now I want to get the bead part area away from me, come back around, and now I need to make sure that it's secure. So I'm going to wrap it around again, 1, 2, 3 times. Now you can see those are spaced out, but that is okay because I'm going to use my flat nose pliers to bring those back together. So I'm going to come in and I'm going to squeeze those pieces together. And again, you're going to want to make sure that you tuck in those sharp pointy edges because the last thing you want is for that to get, poke anyone. Now this extra piece here, you can go ahead now and close that off as well. the other, I like to call them arms, that's coming off. And then you're just gonna wanna, again, come back around, 1, 2, and you're gonna wanna go towards your beads so that your beads stay insecure and don't like move around on your pendant, that kind of thing. You're gonna wanna snip again. I just bought new snippers and I'm waiting to come in the mail. These are getting quite dull. I've had them for several years. So I'm gonna come back in and I've got that little teeny wire that's sticking out. So I need to tuck that back in because like I said, when I send something to a customer, the last thing I want is for them to get poked or their clothes to get ruined, and wire will definitely do that. So make sure you secure it. So now I have one piece done. If you see on my necklace, these are all these individual pieces that are connected together. So now I'm gonna come back in, excuse me, and I think I'm just gonna do the same pattern all the way around this necklace. I just think it will be really pretty. So let's come back in here and bead this back up. Do it here. I say if I can do it because my hands are slippery, and so it's kind of hard to get those beads on there. Take my other hand-drilled black stone, come down with it, and I'm going to find, did I get enough of those beads out? Yep, I have one right here. I thought I put enough out here to show you. And then come back in with this here. If I can do it. Find that other small tiny bead, come back in. Now you've got the 2 here. So now what I need to do again is come up the same amount, probably yay far. And I don't know if you know, but on these pliers, as you see, they have a thicker part and a thinner part. So kind of how you want your loop is where you want to put your wire, because that's about how big your loop is going to be. So I'm going to turn that away from me, bring that arm back around, and now I can put my bead on there and then twist it. So that's all you need to do for your wire wrapping. It's really fun. There's so many creative ways that you can go about doing it. So I highly recommend trying it. You can't lose. Just work with it. It took me a long time to kind of get the technique down or get the wires good, whatever else, but wire's pretty cheap. I typically, like I said, I do a 20 to a 22 to a 24 gauge wire. You want to do a non-tarnished, obviously, because you don't want it to all that work to go to waste and have it fade away after a few months or whatever. So make sure that you do that. But yeah, like here's what I'm working on here. I'm actually going to connect this one and make this one into a leather necklace. So many fun things you can do and create when you work with beads and wire. So I just wanted to give you that little heads up on how I do that. I hope you enjoy your video, and I hope you'll comment and give it a try. Thank you guys. We'll talk soon.